stretch. But is this a team you can zone for a long time because of the shooting touch you mentioned?
You got to be careful. You got to be careful, you know, and you got to be careful how you play it when you play it. You know, some teams you can just pack it in and they struggle shooting the ball. Obviously not the case here. You know, most people would probably say it's not a team you can zone. But you can still play it if you play it right and you're really communicating and aware of who's where and who's got the ball, where the shooters are, and you play it.
What's the confidence level of this team right now? What's it like in the locker room?
You know, I think pretty good. You know, they're a team that doesn't get too high or too low. About the same.
When you look at, since Big Ten play, with the exception of maybe the Wisconsin game, your half-court offense has really looked good. The ball movement at Wisconsin wasn't quite there. Was that a function of their defense, or was it something else?
I think it's always a function of the other team's defense to some degree. But again, you know, there's always more to it. You know, we weren't defending either, so we didn't get any transition opportunities. We got behind early, so we were putting our heads down and put contested shots up, which aren't going to go in, which is going to give them opportunities to run or, you know, keep you on defense. And then once we got down, you know, double digits, you know, then it's even harder. You know, you're trying to get it all back at once. We tried to, you know, come out in the second half with a little more patience, and for the first 5 minutes, I thought we did that. But they were pretty comfortable at that point. They were up 18.
And the quick shots seem to hurt your inside. You're a good offensive rebounding team,
You're
but
not going to get any.
Yeah,
You're absolutely right.
Your transition game is kind of dried up once Big Ten play started. A lot of that is these teams and coaches know you so well what you're trying to do. But is there something you're not doing, maybe not executing in that break to get up?
You can always do better. You know, I think it's a function of you're playing better teams offensively as well. So you have less opportunities to run. You know, they might drop three. You know, they might jam the outlet. They might come up and pick up the point guard. There's a lot of things that they can do. But ultimately, it comes down to, can you get stops and are you sprinting? You know, and if you're doing that, you can still run.
Coach, what are your thoughts on Dan Dockich being assigned to the game this weekend?
You know, I don't have any thoughts. I mean, you know, that is none of my business. You know, he's one of the top crews, he and Bob, and I think he'll do a fine job. I'm not worried about it at all. I think he'll be very professional. He's done a ton of our games over the years, and those two guys in particular have been very good together. And I expect, you know, more of the same. I think they'll be fine.
Did you guys have any conversations, and if so, what were they about?
We didn't have any conversations. You know, we texted back and forth, and as I've said publicly, I mean, you know, feel very comfortable that, you know, both he and I will both, you know, be professional, as we should be. That's what I'm looking forward to.
How do you force the issue with turnovers against Wisconsin? They had virtually none against you last week.
It's not easy. You know, the reason is they got 5 guys who can dribble the ball, handle the ball, make decisions. They're all experienced. You know, they don't play with any panic. You know, so the only thing you can do then is try to keep pressure on the ball, keep pressure on them as much as you can, and then limit their second shot opportunities as well.
Would you say it's kind of a hard game to repeat, like the one last week with how Wisconsin played, and you know, you guys mentioned that you didn't play well offensively either.
We didn't play well in pretty much every facet of the game, so you know, I would certainly hope it wouldn't be anything like a repeat.
You had, speaking of no turnovers, you had no turnovers the second half of Purdue. As you reviewed that tape, what were you doing? What were you doing well? What did please you the most?
I thought we moved the ball extremely well. I thought we attacked when we had opportunities. Our decision-making was very good. You know, when to go, when not to go. You know, sometimes you want to put your head down and go. Sometimes you got to move it on, and wait. And recognizing that is not often easy. And I thought we did a really good job. And you know, we shared the ball. And I was really pleased with our ability to go back and get it. Obviously, gave it 11 offensive rebounds. I mean, that's big time. So I was thrilled for his energy level, and it impacted our ability to come back. Because we made a comeback, and they answered it, and they extended the lead again. They got it back to 10. And then we came back again, which I think showed a lot of character on our part.
How has the team utilized this extra time off?
Well, obviously, a couple guys have been in the training room, and that's been good. Other than that, we've got a lot of shots up. Whenever you have that amount of time, typically what I do is we work on us. Okay, what do we need to do to get better before we start worrying about the opponent and what they're going to do and how we're going to defend their stuff and how we're going to execute, things of that nature. So, for us, it's just conditioning, working on our break, our offense, our defenses, staying sharp, and then, today we'll start focusing a little bit more on our opponent.
After last week, Coach, how nice will it be to have this game at home and finally come back to Carver in a sold-out crowd?
Yeah, it'd be great. Every time we take the floor here, we feel thrilled to have the opportunity to play in front of these fans. They've been tremendous for a while, certainly since I've been here, and long before that. So it will impact the game in a lot of ways. Our energy level, defensively, and especially if we're shorthanded in any way, be very helpful. But ultimately, we have to go out and execute better than we did the last time.
What was Gabe doing in the interim?
I wasn't here.
No, what did he do in that Purdue game
Oh, in the Purdue
that
game.
enabled him to get those rebounds, especially now?
I don't think it was anything more than energy and anticipation. Get a good feel, where's the shot going to come off, and be the first guy there. I don't think it was any